what I do admire from you is that you were always unapologetic about not wanting to have kids.
Yeah.
And that was like one thing that you were already married and everything when we first met, which very few people could even say, especially women can say that we've had a successful relationship and had, you know, the careers that we've had at the same time. I definitely didn't have it. How important is Chris to your life and how he got you through your health scare and how supportive he's been in your career?
Well, I met my husband, Chris. He was an executive assistant for a music manager at the time we met. I was hosting a little baby music show. So we both had nothing. We got married in the backyard. We had no money. Like, it was very like, and so we always say that like each year we've grown and we've supported each other. And he now, you know, is a very successful music manager with his own huge superstar clients, and my career's grown as well. I think we really helped each other grow, and I think he would say I'm his secret sauce and I would say he's my secret sauce. But just having someone who like really believes in you. He asked me so long ago, similar to what you just said, he was like, what would make you happy? Like, nothing makes you happy, it's never enough. What would make you happy? And I was like, I just want to be number one. Like, I just want to be, when someone's making a list of like all the people that could do the job, I want them to be like, you know, it would be great if we could get Keltie. If I could be the number one host on the list, instead of they asked everyone, no one was available. Number 10 was Keltie and she's available. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? And so when I got the job at E! News, he brought me home an ice cream cake that said number one host. Like, do you know what I mean? He's just that kind of guy. He's so thoughtful. He would remember that from 10 years ago. So I think having a really supportive partner who knows that I'm going to work hard when I'm going to work hard, and then we're going to like lay out and look at the sky and do nothing and just be together is really important. But it's not always great, you know? Like, I think my dad always says, baby girl, you can have it all, but you can't have it all at the same time. So I don't want women out there to think like, oh my God, you can have a big career and a successful relationship. I think those things, you can have them both, but they can't both be like 100% at the same time. Like, when I'm doing a show or it's award season or something big is going on in my career, I'm like, Chris Knight who? And then, you know, when it's time for us to go on vacation, I switch my phone off, out of office, I'm fully your wife.
Not having kids.
Yeah.
Number one question that I get, what's wrong with you? Why didn't you want to have kids?
Yeah.
How did that take a toll on you mentally? And not only that, when you went through, we could talk about your health situation.
Yeah.
You've been very open about it, and I think that that's a beautiful thing, especially somebody so young at your age going through something like that.
Thanks, Rox.
That's brave.
I remember when I was at a former show many, many years ago, some executive or someone told my agents, they didn't tell me directly because why would they ever be that mean to your face? Something like, well, she'll never be the lead host of anything because she's not a mother.
Wow.
The women viewers won't understand, like, what will they make of her? Lady Gang, we had a TV show on E! And we were so excited about it. And the focus groups came back when we did that show. And the focus groups, their number one complaint was, where are their children? These are women in their 30s. Why did none of them have children? At the time, Becca was in a major infertility situation. I actually had a pregnancy, lost that pregnancy. I wasn't planning it, but during the filming of that show. So it was just a very wild time, but I've just been told over and over again, like, if you don't have children, you're pretty much worthless. You're not a real woman. You wouldn't understand what it's like to be a woman. And I really like...
Thanks, J.D. Vance. No.
Yeah, I'm like, well, and I really think about Jennifer Aniston, and I think all the years that we, as media people and as like someone who loves Hollywood, I was always like, God, she really is just getting put through the ringer. And I always thought she just didn't want to have children. And then it came out years later that she had suffered with infertility. The truth is, you just never know what's going on with people. For me personally, dealing with a family member, with my brother that has a mental illness, I always call him my like 40-year-old brother child. He is someone that I will take care of for the rest of my life. And so that's a lot of pressure for me, you know, especially as my parents get older. So I feel like I have enough responsibility on my plate. And when, to be honest with you, when you grow up with mental illness that is genetic, I got to a point where I was just kind of terrified to have children, because what if they struggled the way I have seen my brother struggle? And it is such a hard way to live your life that I think my purpose in life is to help him. My purpose in life is to help other people and other families that are sort of dealing with the same thing, and then to be like an amazing auntie. I look at Oprah, I look at these people that have made like such a huge difference in their life, and sometimes their children are a different type of children. Because the moms I know, they are like feet on the ground, making sure this baby is breathing and can walk and like has clothes. Like that is such a full-on thing that like I can use my power in other ways.
Did Chris ever want kids, or did you guys ever have that conversation? I mean, you went through,
Yeah.
you had a miscarriage, and then that kind of brings things into reality. But do you ever look at Chris and you're like, damn, you would have been an amazing dad?
That was the hardest part. And you know what? I did not feel it until after my hysterectomy. So I had my hysterectomy in March, and I was like, I'm good. And they ask you so many times during the process, like, are you sure? Yeah. Should we take eggs? Are you 100% sure? I'm like, have you talked to your husband? I'm like, well, it's my uterus. I don't need my husband to sign off on, but we did talk about it, and I was fine. About 2 weeks after the surgery, my mom came to take care of me after the surgery. I cried in bed an entire day. It was so final. I never wanted that for myself, but then realizing like, oh, no, there was no possibility. I will never have a pregnancy. I will never give birth. I will never have a pregnancy shoot. I will never look into the little blue eyes of a baby Chris Keltie. It really rocked me, and it was really hard. And so, on my deathbed, do I think there'll be a regret there that like Chris Knight is such a wonderful man and I didn't have children? Yes. But I also think that, again, you can have it all, but you can't have it all at the same time, and maybe you can't have it all in one lifetime.
What does he say?
He, I think, grew up in a household that isn't like his parents are amazing, but they're not super like warm, dotting, like, they don't hang out and have barbecues on the weekends and things like that. So I think he sort of found his match in me. We never discussed it kind of early in our relationship, but then when we decided, he was like, yeah, perfect. Like, I'm down. And now I don't know, it worked out. I think if I met Chris and I was like, I want to have 10 babies, he would be like, great, I'm gonna have 10 babies. But I think he's good. Like we're fine. He's so good with my dog that then I'm like, oh my God, you'd be an amazing dad. But then I actually think he might not be a great dad. We're two people that don't know what to do with a baby. Like when we go to the kids' birthday parties now, like we're aunties to everyone, we're kind of like
hand them off.
I'm like, here's your big ridiculous gift, and I'm out.
Right? Time for me to go.
Yeah, and like, oh God, they're so selfless and wonderful, and parents are just amazing. And I think you got to have, I don't know. I'm really excited about the way life turned out. Will I have regrets on my deathbed? I think so, but I'm okay with it.